What did five-star linebacker Tyler Atkinson have to say after his big Georgia Bulldog official visit? That's what we're talking about in today's video. But let's start back to the very beginning, right? Tyler Atkinson, five-star linebacker, top 10 prospect in the country, number one linebacker, one of the very best linebackers I have ever covered in my time covering Georgia Bulldog recruiting. The Dogs offered him in March of 2022, okay? So over 3 years ago when he was in 8th grade. That's how long Georgia's been recruiting him. He is a superstar. He is a very special prospect. And he's been to Athens 15 times now during his recruitment. And of course, this past weekend for his official visit was the biggest one, right? This was Georgia's chance to deliver their big pitch to the number one linebacker in the country. Here's what he had to say. Quote, "The visit overall was really good. It was definitely an official visit I will never forget. My family really enjoyed their time on the visit as well. Georgia made sure everything went smooth for them too. Georgia's still one of my top schools. I feel like the relationship at Georgia is real, just like the relationships I have developed at my other top schools as well." He gave me a lot more quotes that I'm going to talk about as we progress in this video. But I want to come out and say I still think Georgia has a really good chance to land Tyler Atkinson. However, I know a lot of people, experts, sources, insiders over the last several years have basically penciled him into Georgia's class a long time ago. And I did somewhat to some extent as well. I've always reported that I think it would be tough for him to pick another school other than Georgia. But I'll tell you right now, as I've said over the past several months, this is not a slam dunk to Georgia. I can totally see him signing with Ohio State. I can totally see him signing with Clemson. Texas would not surprise me. I think Oregon is still in the mix, but I would be surprised if he landed at Oregon. At the end of the day, I think it's going to come down to those four schools: Georgia, Clemson, Ohio State, and Texas, in no particular order. But I do think that Georgia has positioned themselves really well in his recruitment. Yes, NIL is going to come into play, as it should. He is the number one linebacker in the country, a guy that everyone wants, and he is a top priority for a lot of these programs, right? So yes, you're going to have to hit the NIL standard or whatever you want to call it, right? NIL is going to play a part, but so is the relationship with the staff, development. There's a lot that's going into play. He wants to go to a winning program. He plays at Grayson. There's a standard there. They consistently win. It's state championship or bust, and he led them to a state championship last year. So there's a lot of factors at play, not just NIL. However, that is going to obviously be part of his decision. At the end of the day, I think it's going to be up to the schools to present the best plan for how to use him, how they can use him in their scheme. They're going to win him over in a lot of different ways. But I know Clemson set the bar really high. I think he had a great time at Oregon. He was at Georgia this past weekend. And I think he'll either be at Ohio State or Texas this upcoming weekend. And then in that final official visit, I think it'll be either Texas or Ohio State, wherever he doesn't visit this weekend. And then probably a decision coming in July. I don't think it's going to be a very long wait after these official visits for him to sit down with his family, talk about it, and then make a decision. I still think Georgia is in a good spot. I can totally see him at Georgia. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be really tough for him to look Glenn Schumann and Kirby Smart in the eye and say, you know what? I appreciate it. I know you've got the resume. I know I can do everything I want here. I can win championships at Georgia. I can be a Butkus winner at Georgia. It's not too far, 45 minutes away, maybe. I think it's within an hour from Grayson to Athens. So Georgia has everything that he is looking for, but so do these other schools. He can do great things at Ohio State. He can do great things at Clemson. The guy's a superstar, in my opinion. So he is going to be fantastic, an elite college football linebacker wherever he goes. But Georgia's still very much in the mix. This is what else he had to say about that Georgia visit. Even with this being my 15th visit, I still saw and learned some new things, which is crazy to me. It's like a movie that you have seen over and over, but there's always something new that pops out. I spent most of my time with Coach Schumann, Coach Robinson, Coach Smart, and the defensive staff. The entire staff showed me how important it was to them that I stay home and play for the Dogs. And that has to be part of the pitch, right? They're saying, why would you leave this state, come to Georgia? We've been recruiting you since 8th grade. We need you, right? Look at what we do with linebackers. You know, they all do well at Georgia. 3 of them have won Butkus Award winners. Most of them go off to the NFL, and some of them have even won Super Bowls, right? So the pitch is easy. And he sees that, he knows that, but he's definitely doing his due diligence. He's not just saying, okay, Georgia's the place I want to be, shut it down. And I mean, he's looking at other schools. They're making him priority. So he's going to take a strong look at Clemson and Ohio State. I mean, why would you not? All right. Those are great programs, and he knows he could succeed and excel really at both of those programs. Yeah, they've been recruiting him since March of 2022. And he has a close relationship with Glenn Schumann. Here's what he's had to say about Coach Schumann in the past. He said, Coach Schumann knows the game of football. He's knowledgeable and has coached some of the best linebackers in the league right now. It's great to get over there and learn from him. Everyone wants to be part of a winning program, and Coach Smart does a great job of pushing his guys. I love the way, or they love the way I play the game. I've been taking visits to Georgia since I was in 8th grade. They tell me they want a guy like me in the program. And how could you not? This is a guy that you could come to Athens and quickly have that C, that captain on his jersey. And he could do that wherever he plays. I'm not saying he could just do that in Athens. Wherever he goes, I think he's going to be a leader, a captain, and a big part of that defense moving forward, right? And again, I've said this a while. He might be the best linebacker that I have ever covered. I've been covering Georgia recruiting since 2015. I've seen a lot of them come through. I've seen a lot, in the state of Georgia go on to play elsewhere. He could be one of the best. You could put him at outside linebacker. He's a tremendous pass rusher, but he's a inside linebacker. He's a middle linebacker. He can run. He can get sideline to sideline. He's a tremendous run defender. He's got great instincts, great burst. He knows the play before it happens. But again, he can get after the quarterback too. I went and saw Dylan Raiola when he was still committed to Georgia in a playoff game against Grayson. Tyler Atkinson maybe sacked him 4 or 5 times by himself. I think that entire Grayson defense sacked Raiola about 10 times. They won that game. KJ Bolden was terrific in that game. But, I knew that we got to get film. We got to get some stuff from Tyler Atkinson. And I think Dean has all those. So they're in the database. I don't have them right now, or else I'd put them up over the screen. But I'm telling you right now, go over to Dawg Post and watch those highlights. The guy is tremendous. As a junior last year, he made 166 tackles, 32 tackles for a loss, 13 sacks, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, 1 block kick. And of course, he led Grayson to a state championship because he is that guy. He is an alpha. He is a dog. He's the #1 linebacker in the country for a reason. He's incredibly versatile. Again, he can play outside if you need him to, or you can stick him in the middle and say, hey, do your thing, right? He is a captain. He knows where everyone else is supposed to be. He just lived in the backfield last year, and they played against outstanding competition week in and week out. This is not a small town kid playing against a bunch of nobodies, okay? He's going up against 6A, 7A competition, and he's dominating, and he is the best guy on the field. And the Georgia staff knew that. I mean, this guy was a stud in middle school. I still have a picture of him at a middle school all-star game. That's how long I've been covering him. I heard about him the first time probably when he was in like 6th or 7th grade. I went to a middle school all-star game. It was him, Deuce Gerald's, a lot of other guys as well. Julian Lewis, he would end up reclassifying, but he was, with this group when they were in middle school. And Tyler Atkinson already looked like a D1 prospect when he was in 8th grade. So I've been covering him a long, long time. He's a great kid. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He is years above his peers as far as maturity goes. He is a smart, intelligent, well-spoken young man. I mean, he gets it. He is bound for big things, not only on the football field, but off of it. I mean, this guy is going to win in life in general. He's going to make a lot of money, and he's going to do that really, really soon. But this guy has first round written all over him. He's got possible Butkus Award written all over him. I mean, everything you look for in a linebacker, this guy has. And there is a reason that Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, they all want him badly. And again, I know Georgia fans are going to say, well, whoever comes at him with the last, NIL offer, the biggest check, that's the team that's going to get him. I disagree. Okay, this is not going to come down to the biggest check. It's going to come down to the best fit However, yeah, you're going to have to hit those NIL requirements, or, you're going to have to, it's going to be part of it, of course. Now, the team that offers him the least, as far as the last 4 or 5 teams, I mean, yeah, you're going to have to step it up and be competitive with your NIL offer. But at the end of the day, it's about culture, it's about fit, it's about development. There's so much at play here. So this is not just a bigger check NIL deal, right? And Georgia's got a real shot here, but again, this is not a slam dunk. I can see him at Ohio State. I can see him at Clemson. And I'm not ruling Texas out either. I'm not completely ruling Oregon out. That would surprise me. But at the end of the day, Georgia has to fight off the big boys. They're going to have to fight off some big-time programs if they want to land the local in-state elite 5-star linebacker, best linebacker in the country, Tyler Atkinson. I've been talking about him for years. We'll see if he ends up in Athens. I still think there's a good chance that happens. But again, not a slam dunk. They're still going to have to earn it and still going to have to win him over and show him, hey, this is the best place for you. So we'll see if they can get it done. This was a massive official visit. You can read more about this over on Dawg Post for free, okay? I've got quotes. I've got more insider scoop on Tyler Atkinson over on Dawg Post for free. So make sure you're checking that out. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something, and I'll see you over on Dawg Post.